Hello, everyone. This is nycboom coming from the Double A Club podcast. You can catch us on Spotify, Iheart Radio, and Amazon Music. Again, we're going to continue our web series on dealing with alcoholism, and I have a special guest with me. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jason. Originally from the Bronx, right now reside in Massachusetts.
Good, let's go, Boston.
Let's go, Yankees.
Hey, I'm a Viking fan.
But just really wanted to touch on the topic of alcoholism and, just bring a little bit of experience, personal experience or whatever. I've been struggling with it for 30 years. You know what I mean? Just recently, February, just suffered a heart attack that just really just set everything in perspective more. All the times I tried to go, at least I made attempts to go to rehab, but it was never for myself. It was always for someone else. It was for, all right, I'll do it. And when you do it for yourself, it's a different thing. You feel like, you can't affect anyone in your family. You can't touch the people that you hurt or anything unless you fix yourself. You got to fix yourself first and care about yourself first before anything, and until, I really started caring, it didn't really matter. I was a functioning alcoholic because I was always working, managing a liquor store, and so it just became gradual, that and working in bars and things since I was since way young, since about 18 years old. I went through so much trauma living in New York. It turned me to so much so young. Back, if you remember, Alberto, you remember like the stop and frisk law and shit.
Oh, the one that fucking Mayor Giuliani passed? Oh my gosh.
So, like, I was a teenager. You remember, man. Yo, shout out to your entire family. You and your brother, Alberto. Yo, you guys are freaking family to the day I die. Because there were days that I was homeless and and y'all put a freaking a roof over my head for the night. I'm forever grateful for y'all.
No problem, man. It was also my mom's doing too. She didn't like to see people struggle.
It was difficult because before that I was young out in the street. So when I ended up, I was out with no ID, no you get stopped with no ID, stop and frisk for whatever fucking reason, you going to jail. So I would go to jail all the fucking time. I'll end up in Central Book in 4 days and as John Doe, and all these cases will fucking go in front of me and I'm still sitting in jail because I didn't have a fucking ID. And there's no way to get an ID without Social Security, there was no way to get anything, without one thing to start everything. You understand? You need a Social Security, you need a birth certificate. You don't have that, you don't have shit.
And you didn't have that.
So I was always going to jail. I would get a job. People like, oh, get a job. I'll get a job. You get a job on a 90-day probationary period. Guess what? I'm trying to go to work. I get freaking stopped. I'm locked up. Guess what? No show. You're fired. Okay? And then they look at your record. You would get caught. Freaking as a youngster with like less than freaking $20 worth of weed, and freaking end up in jail for for the longest. You know what I'm saying? And it was constantly. I ended up with like 30 something, freaking almost 40 something arrests, and there was just mostly no identity because I had no ID. And like it traumatized me to the point I was like, damn, I just get a job and I'm fucking fired the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like I come out, they don't want to hear anything. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of getting arrested, guess what? You got a criminal background. You know what I'm saying? So it was impossible. I was like, yo, you gotta be fucking kidding me. There's no escape from this shit. And all I knew from young was, just to escape everything was alcohol, because it was everywhere. It was so easy to get to. And I started working. You remember Ering's Tavern? I used to work in the bar, so I was like freaking 14 years old, freaking around adults drinking and shit. I'll see them best friends, buddies, freaking chilling on freaking St. Patty's Day, and they're cracking each other over the head with a mug at the end of the night.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I just saw so much at a young age when I was working in the bar, being around alcohol, and I was always around it. And it was my only escape. When I ended up homeless as a teenager, that's all I turned to. It was just make everything disappear. You know what I mean? And then I just became a functioning alcoholic because my body keep going. And then when I just didn't want it, I started getting sick. I was like, damn, I don't feel like drinking. I'm tired of this life already. Like, I don't want it. And I got really, really sick. And I had to go to detox like 4 times in 1 year. You know what I mean? Like, it's an everyday battle. Everyday battle for anybody that goes through any kind of addiction. It ain't just alcohol, man. I go to STAR program in Fall River. They're the most amazing people. They help with people with every type of addiction. And I met brothers and sisters. We're all the same. I used to be young and stupid when I was a kid and be like, oh, that crackhead over there, and say stupid and ignorant things like that. And now when you see people, when they struggle from addiction, it's sad. There's nothing funny about it.
No.
That's somebody's mother, that's somebody's kid, that's somebody's father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just different when it touches base. And then, I turned my whole life. I said, damn, I've always tried to be better. And the only thing, I fought everything, Alberto, everything. I've been shot twice. I've fucking been to the point that I almost died in car accidents that I wasn't even driving. Other people were driving. I got hit by a car. And it took me a year to walk again. And I beat everything. Like nothing. And the only thing I can't beat is this addiction. And that's just real.
A lot of people don't know that the alcohol, even though it's legal, it's one of the worst things to detox from compared to other drugs, and it's killed more people than all types of other drugs.
You're dead right with that, because when I came out, the nurse told me, she said, you have no idea, there's more people that overdose from alcohol than heroin. And it stuck with me. I thought heroin was like the number one, like people overdose all the time until they found Narcan. Like now I'm Narcan certified for all that. I go to programs. I want to help everyone that has an addiction, because there's always hope. But you have to want it for yourself, and you have to have the right people around you.
Yeah.
You can't be surrounded by all negative people if that's the case, But there's one thing that I do learn: you can't do it by yourself.
No.
I try to do that. I try to do it for so long, and it doesn't work. You need a support team. You need people around you.
So, who is your support team?
My family. I have groups that I go to, STAR as well. I also go to IOP, which is it's intense occupational it's intense outpatient program. That's what it is. It's when you come out of detox, they put you in programs, they give you classes and stuff, and then they have a mental health and a substance abuse class. And so it's either or.
Do you think that do you see that those programs are really helping you?
Let me tell you something. if it wasn't for them, I'd be in a worse place because I would never feel I had a place to go to, a place to try to even get help. I would have still been doing it crazy, and just killing myself and not knowing that, because I've been to other places and stuff, but they didn't help. This place has the nursing staff, and the time you go in, they're amazing. The counselors that they have, most of all the nurses are there, and the counselors are former addicts, so they relate to the people amazing. They know firsthand, and it's not somebody just coming off straight out of college and telling you out of a book, how you feel. How does anybody know how you feel? You know what I mean? Unless you've went through it.
Yeah, and I know when I was working in the jail, the detoxing the detoxing process for people who were detoxing from alcoholism.
That shit must be nuts.
Was horrible. Was horrible. I mean, like, seriously horrible. It's one of the. It is. I think it is the worst detoxing process in the world. I mean, like, there's no other drug that you can detox that's just like that strenuous to the body. I mean, people died from detox. I got stuck on it's horrible. I got stuck on and because I didn't have a ticket, and I would never go to pay my thing, so they sent me to Rikers, and that's when I first went through my first experience of detox, and it was horrible. Like, I literally yeah, explain how it went for you.
I would literally leave the whole fucking sheet. I'm sorry, my language. I would leave my entire thing soaking wet and be shaking at night, shivering and cold, and it was horrible, like horrible.
Did you have hallucinations?
Hell freaking yeah.
Like, well, what did you hallucinate? Do you remember?
I would see colors and shit, and in and out, and just in and out of and just restlessness.
Yeah.
Just uncomfortableness. It was horrible. And the worst thing is you get cold. You get hot, real hot, but then you get cold, and you get cold to the point your teeth are shattering and you're freezing. No matter what you do, you're cold, and and your body aches so much. Like, if your body aches, like if you were withdrawing from life. I would see people on heroin, and I'm like, damn, I'm going through this off of alcohol. It was crazy.
Yeah, people think that because it's alcohol, it's like, and it's legal, it's not that bad.
And you know how it is when we grew up. Like, it started with me with 40s, little 40s here.
Old English.
OEs. Not the St. Ides, man. That was the other one. It was OE 45. That was it.
I had the Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horse! With the Indian, baby.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Crazy Horse with the 64. Remember the 34?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nah, but that's what started it.
Yeah.
That was my first. I first felt like it was weird. We were in Van Cortlandt, and we drank 240s each, and I drank 240 straight. I chugged them, and when I was walking home, brother, it's just I fell in love with that feeling. I wanted to keep feeling like that because I was trying to escape other things. You know what I'm saying? Like I was going through personal abuse and other things. So, like, that was my escape. That was the way I didn't feel anything. I was numb to everything.
So you can safely say that when you had your first 40 was when you noticed it? Like, when you noticed it was going to become...
I liked it, but then when I had, like, hard alcohol,
mm-hmm.
I already knew it. And then I didn't find out until, like, years later. Like, recently, my mother told me, she was like, your father used to really like his alcohol. He liked hard shit. And me, freaking, like, I grew up around all his, you know how it is, man. Freaking weekends, Freaking, we out. I grew up with all Dominicans and Dominicans first before Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican, but I grew up with more Dominicans. And it was freaking Brugal on the weekends, Mama Juana. Like, we was getting towed up, like, early, young. And, you know, my body just got used to that shit until freaking later on, so many years later, you start blacking out and your body just changes after everything. Like, it was a point that I went so many months without even remembering anything. You know, I would just black things out.